Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome to a Q&A. This is the first Q&A I've ever done on this channel, and I thought it was about time I gave you guys the chance to ask me whatever you want to ask me. You can ask me anything, whether it be related to Overwatch, other games, or just me in general. And I think it would be a good sort of bonding thing, you know. You get to know more about me, you get to ask whatever you want to, within reason. You know, let's be sensible about this, you know, and I'm not doing anything that's weird, okay? But I'm asking in two places for these videos. So one, there is a Q&A submissions channel on the Discord. If you are not in the Discord, please do sign up. It is a fantastic place to be. There's great discussions that go on in there, and sometimes quite papagus discussions, and you can honestly get hold of me in there at any point as well. The link to the Discord, the invite, is in the description below, and I really do encourage you to check it out if you're not already in there. Also, I did put out a community post where people could also ask me questions as well. We're going to go through the Discord submissions first, and then we will go through those YouTube submissions as well. And I will continue to do these videos. So if you want to leave submissions in the comment section of this video for the next Q&A video, then please feel free to do so. Also, the Q&A submissions channel in the Discord is always open for submissions there as well. But without further ado, let's get into this. And the first question coming from the Discord is from Nautic Noblin. I wish he would sort his name out. It's actually Kachiga. I don't know why his name's that, but you know, that's what it is. You'll know some of these names perhaps from Overcoach and stuff like that. Some of them are quite lengthy members of the Discord now. But he asked, if you could go back 5 years in time and tell yourself 3 things, what would they be? 3 things? 3 things. 5 years. So where was I 5 years ago? I was 17. I just left school. I was in college. If I could say anything, is to make the most of my time at school and college, and that's in general, because when you're in those situations, when you're back in, like, when you're learning, when you're in those school environments, you're like, damn, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to do this, it's just compulsory, I've got to do it. But actually, they were some of the most fun times of my life so far. So, if I could say one thing, then it's not to take it for granted, because it doesn't last forever. And with the illness and everything that has hit me afterwards, I am very thankful for those times I had at school and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one thing I would say. 3 things though: take it seriously, because it can have quite a massive impact on your future. Not gonna lie, it really, really can. And yeah, just don't muck about, really. Don't muck about. Not that I mucked about, really, when I was younger. I didn't really muck about. That was way back when. Much more than 5 years. But yeah, make the most of it would be the biggest thing. Moving on, though, and the next question is coming from Oren. I'm sure... Oren is OMS Plays, if you've seen the Overcoach series. Who is your least played hero in Overwatch, and why do you think that is? My least played hero, statistically, is Torbjorn. Which is funny, because I thought it was Symmetra. I don't know why Symmetra is more played than Torbjorn. In fact, actually, Echo is less played than Symmetra, and I play Echo in competitive, which is a bit weird. But yeah, it's Torbjorn because simply I just don't pick Torb. I don't know why it is. I should pick more Torb. I mean, Torb is more viable than ever. It's just that inbuilt thing of I never used to pick Torb because he used to be trash, and these days I'm like, nah, there's other heroes I'd rather play. It's nothing against Torb. I don't mind you, man. It's just, you know, I just don't pick him for some reason. Anyway, moving on. This is from Tayu, who's actually Fanged Gecko, if you've seen the Overwatch Overcoach series. Favourite type of jam? Strawberry jam. Always strawberry jam. And how did I react to London Spitfire blowing up their roster in the off-season? Well, initially I thought it was, like, cool. Okay, fine. I mean, perhaps it's time for a rejig. It didn't exactly go brilliantly in 2019. But, then they signed this roster, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to see what happens here. But, you know, it is what it is, and I think the biggest test of that blow up of the roster is going to be this coming off season, to see whether London really push on to become a good team, or whether they're going to become a team that recycles players for money, and I don't want that. Moving on now, and this is Heathens asking, how did I react to the Shanghai new roster? When I saw the new Shanghai roster, I knew it had a lot of potential. It looked like it had a lot of potential. Did I think it would be as godly as it is? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I would say it's probably the best in the league right now. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good team when I saw it, but I don't think anyone could have estimated quite how good it was. Moving on, and Isart has 2 questions. I don't know why this is a running meme on the Discord, by the way, but people keep asking me if I'm going to do an Onlyfans. Guess what? No. No one wants to see an Onlyfans from me. So that's not going to happen. And also, what attracted me to Overwatch? The pace of Overwatch attracts me. It's the thing that keeps me engaged in the game. Overwatch is an incredible pace game. When you see streamers or players come back to Overwatch from a very, very long period of absence, they say, "Oh my god, how did I keep up with this game when I was playing it?" Because it's such a fast-paced game. I've played games like Fortnite, Valorant, and things like that, but they're so slow compared to Overwatch. And the pace, it's the pace that keeps me engaged with Overwatch. It's the pace that attracts me to Overwatch, and the art style of Overwatch is fantastic as well. The heroes and the characters that they have in Overwatch, they just draw you in. It's a brilliantly made game. I just wish it was a little bit more popular at the moment, you know, Blizzard. Anyway, Tyler's back with, can I tell you about the puppers? So the dogs. I have 2 dogs in my family. 2 dogs. One's a Basset Hound, and one's sort of a crossbreed. But the Basset Hound is a cheeky son of a gun at times. I'm not gonna lie. But the crossbreed, he's the loveliest dog you'll ever come across. He's like 15, I want to say now. He's been around for a very long time, and he's the loveliest dog you'll ever meet. He never does anything wrong. He's fantastic. The Basset Hound is a pesky son of a gun sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, they're sweet dogs, I'm not gonna lie. Moving on, and Chief said if I could be owl level in skill with any one hero, who would it be and why? It would be D.Va, because D.Va is my most favorite hero in the game, without a doubt. The only reason I don't play the amount of D.Va that I used to be a D.Va main, but the reason I don't play the amount of D.Va that I used to is because I just get forced onto main tank because people are always nicking the off-tank role. So that's the reason I'm a Reinhardt main technically, but if I could just force everyone to do what they want, to do what I want, then I would play D.Va. I would play D.Va week in, week out, and I would grind, because I love playing D.Va. So if I could be owl level in skill, it would be D.Va all day. Heathens is back. Who is going to win the league this year, in my opinion? Shanghai Dragons. They look so darn good that I just can't deny it at the moment. Some of the quality I've seen from the Shanghai Dragons is like god tier sort of play, and it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I will go for the Shanghai Dragons at the moment, but it's open to debate. Moving on, if I could choose a hero for the next cinematic, who would it be and why is it Zen? Ice. I mean, it would probably be Zen. It would probably be Zen, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Zen, we need to see some stuff from Zen. We really, really do. He's so lacking in lore, and hopefully Overwatch 2 will clear up a lot of that as well. So, yeah, I think definitely Zen would be an awesome one to see. Depends when they set the cinematic as well. But I don't think we'll be seeing any cinematics for Overwatch 2, unfortunately. Next up then, we have Tayo again. Do I worry about the state of Overwatch 2? Well, I don't worry about the state of Overwatch 2. I worry about the lack of reveals and the lack of information about Overwatch 2. That's what worries me. I wish Blizzard would build hype. I really wish they'd build hype. But instead, all they've done is said, well, at last BlizzCon, they said, well, Overwatch 2 is coming. We've got no idea when, but yeah, it's coming. So, you know, just wait on it. They gave us a few little teasers, and they've said nothing since. Nothing. There's no hype build. A lot of people that are not completely, in the Overwatch sort of scene have just forgotten about Overwatch 2, to be quite honest. So, yeah, it's poor on the Blizzard's part, but I don't worry about the state of Overwatch 2. I worry about the lack of information about Overwatch 2, but hopefully that might change soon from something I might have seen if I'm right on Twitter. Anyway, moving on. Rakiodi, do you think Overwatch is dying? What can Blizzard do to stop it? I don't think Overwatch is dying. I don't like saying that a game is dying. I know a game that is very, 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 very much dead, where the servers literally don't exist anymore. Overwatch is not a dead game. Overwatch will never die, because it is a Blizzard game. It is a game that will always have a player base. But so a lot of people will say Overwatch is dead or Overwatch is dying because the player base is so much smaller than it was years ago. And yeah, that's partly down to Blizzard. And what can Blizzard do to stop it? Oh well, Overwatch 2 is the key to stopping, is the key to rejuvenating Overwatch, let's say. And they've not done a good job at the moment. I think, and I worry, that Overwatch 2 will be a flash in the pan in terms of popularity for Overwatch. It'll boost things for about 6 months, and then it'll all tail off again. It depends what's in Overwatch 2. We know there's a new competitive mode push. We know there's PvE and tons of PvE. We know there are a bunch of new heroes, including Sojourn. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff to bring people back. But will it be enough to actually keep people engaged in the long term? That will be heavily dependent on what the devs do post Overwatch 2. So I think there is the opportunity for Overwatch to sort of have a rebirth, but to sustain it, the devs have to be proactive. They have to be better than they have been in the previous 2-3 years. And they are getting better, I'm not going to lie. The recent updates, changes, additions, they have been better than they have been previously. Back in 2019, 2018, things really got very, very bad. But they have been getting better. Problem is, a lot of people have already left by that point. So if we continue with that sort of trend when the player base is kind of rejuvenated slightly, then I think things look up. But yeah, it's going to be a crucial year or so for Overwatch, definitely. Moving on though, and Nolix has a question saying, what do you believe Boston need to do to become mid-table? Boston, it's pretty darn simple. Sack everyone, get a new team, including coaches and management. It's not difficult for Boston. It's been 2 years. It's not a team that is going anywhere right now in its current state, and I think it's mainly down to the management and coaching right now. They have some good parts. Myung Bong, Fusions is a good main tank. Also Jerry, obviously. There's some good parts in that Boston team, but very often they get recycled for money, and that's not something we want to see, really, is it, from a team? And it's just down to management and coaching. So yeah, full-scale cleanup. That's what Boston need. Moving on, Tayu, what would be your Dark Horse playoff pick? It would be someone from NA. So we have the top 3 in NA, the Paris, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. And if someone was to upset them, I would say most likely it would be Florida Mayhem. I think they are the team with the sort of power that would be able to interrupt them. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult. It's difficult to say because those 3 teams are so good in NA right now. I don't think anyone is going to upset Shanghai in Asia. I think it's just whoever's going to be second in that region is going to get that spot, but I don't think they're going to compete with any of the rest of the people that are going to be in the playoffs, to be quite honest. And then, yeah, it's difficult. But if there was a dark horse, I'd say it might be Florida Mayhem, because I wouldn't call any of the 3 that are top of NA right now dark horses, because I think they're really in contention anyway. Moving on, Oren asks, what is my favourite indie game? There is a series of that game on this channel. It is called Subnautica. It is a fantastic game. A lot of people may have heard of it, and I absolutely loved playing it. There is a new Subnautica coming out called Below Zero, and once that is further down the line in development, I will be playing that. And if you want to see it on the channel, do let me know. Biscuit tier list, Isart says, well, you've got custard creams, and then you've got sort of rich tea fingers, and then you've got the rest, haven't you, really? Like, you know, got to dunk it in the tea in that as well, so, you know. British things. Talking of tea, Tayo asks what my favourite kind of tea is. I just have normal tea. Normal tea. I don't go with this green tea or anything like that. It's just normal tea. Your normal tea bag with a little bit of sugar, with a little bit of milk and the water, you know. It's just normal tea for me. I'm not weird. Wild Wolf asks favourite Owl and Contenders team. British Hurricane for Contenders, London Spitfire for Owl. I'm not a Cloud9 fanatic. It's just they're both British. that's what it is. I've loved London Spitfire since they were announced. I didn't even know they were going to be Cloud9 when I started supporting London. So yeah, and British Hurricane came along with it, and that's kind of it really. There are some great other teams though. Okay, Heathens ask, if the teams we had now went back to the past 2018, so the inaugural season, do you think the Dragons would have a victory? Absolutely. Like, this Dragons team, they could have, the state this Dragons team is in right now, if you completely just, say, transplant it into the inaugural season, they could win the blooming inaugural season, I'm not going to lie. This Dragons team is one of the best teams we've seen in the Overwatch League so far. With their coordination and their ability to adapt in game, I think they are fantastic. But yeah, I think they would definitely be getting on the board. Oren comes in with which contenders players should be an owl. There's two actually. One of them's retired. So I've always thought Visility, the Dutch player, should get a chance in the Overwatch League. He kind of dipped out and now is back again in contenders. So I hope he gets a chance at some point. I was also really upset that Hafikal never got a chance or a shot at the Overwatch League. He's now retired and playing Valorant. But he was around contenders EU and NA for a very, very long time. He partnered Fusions at British Hurricane at one point. But he never got a chance at Overwatch League, and that was a real crying shame. But yeah, that's someone I would like to highlight. But moving on, Hydra. Hydra, if you ever come to my Discord, Hydra's an interesting one. You go with the flow with him. Any story games or other games going to be posted on the channel? That is completely up to you, really. You YouTube people. If you want to see that sort of stuff, then yeah, I will. I mean, I'm lining up Doki Doki Literature Club to play on stream at the moment. If you want to see something like that, then of course I can, slice it up, put it in a video and upload it to the channel if you want to see it. But yeah, I will leave that sort of thing up to YouTube to decide. Moving on, Cheesy Skull asks, what's your stance on the current state of Overwatch League? Considering the players in a different situation, and this was supposed to be the year for homestands, and who are you predicting for the Grand Finals this year? Grand Finals? I can't look past Shock or Shanghai right now, so Shock Shanghai for the Grand Finals right now. The current state of OWL, I think it's okay. It's not been the year we wanted. It's not been the proof of concept year that we were all marking it as at the start, because we didn't get the homestands. The proof of concept year is now going to be 2021, hopefully, when we get a full year of homestands. I think when we saw the homestands in the first 5-ish weeks, they were fantastic. I really do think that. There was a great atmosphere. There was really interesting matches. So yeah, I think they were great. I think the league has adapted fairly well, considering the circumstances. But yeah, I think there will be a video on this at the end of the season where we kind of go over the whole thing for the Overwatch League this year. But yeah, I think they've adapted pretty well, and 2021 will be the real proof of concept, providing we get all those homestands that we've been missing this year. Moving on though, and Above Halo King asks, what made you want to make YouTube videos? Well, it's actually partly down to illness, I'm not going to lie. I played Overwatch, I played games in general, and I was like, well, I can't go out, I can't work, so why don't I do this? And that's kind of how it started out. I was also watching a lot of different YouTubers at the time, for instance, Jacksepticeye and people like that, and I thought, it's kind of neat, why not give it a go? So yeah, that's kind of where it is, and now I'm doing Overwatch esports. I don't know how we got here. Anyway, who do I think will win MVP for Overwatch League? It'll be Carpe or Exy, but it looks at the standings. I think this was posted before the nominations were released. I'm not very happy with the nominations list, I'm not gonna lie. The lack of main tank, especially a Shanghai main tank, really does grate on me. But yeah, it's gonna be Exy or Carpe, I think. And will I ever do a face reveal? Ask Quaz? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Will I ever do a face reveal? I don't know. If we get enough subs, maybe. I'm not against it totally. Just not right now. Because I look like absolute... Okay, we're not going to get demonetized. But let's now swing it over to the YouTube comments. This was a reply to a community post. From now on, I will do it as comments from these videos. But what inspired me to start the channel? Well, it was a combination of, as I said just now, watching... various different YouTubers at the time. Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye were like people that I was really into at that point. I think their content is fantastic. And just not a lack of things to do, that sounds wrong, but I needed something to take my mind away. I needed something as a hobby, and that is still what this is to this day. I started out with nothing, and we're here at 1,500 subs, you know. We're still plugging away. It's still a fantastic hobby, and I enjoy it, and really, really enjoy it. Who's my favourite team? London Spitfire, and I don't really have a favourite player. I'm sorry about that, Cross, but I don't really have a favourite player. I never really have done. I mean, if you talked to me like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have said Prophet, and I still think Prophet is a fantastic player. I don't think he's as massive as perhaps he used to be, especially during Dive, but yeah, I don't know whether I have an absolutely favourite player. I'm liking watching Fearless play at the moment. I think he's a fantastic main tank. And yeah, that's where I'd put it with that for now. I don't really have a really standout favourite player. Afonso is asking, do I think any team is overrated or underrated? I don't think any team is overrated. I don't think that at all. I think every team is pretty much where they are now. Underrated? Well, the problem is they look bad at the moment. I think if you look at the parts of some rosters, I think the teams are underrated, but that's because they're underperforming. If you look at the Washington Justice, I think they've actually got a decent roster, and I think they should be doing better than they are. London Spitfire, I think they've got a decent roster. I think they should be doing better than they are. But are they underrated? No, not with how they're performing at the moment. I think they deserve to be where they are, so I wouldn't say anyone's totally underrated. Moving on, and Becca Solomon is asking, what's my favourite workshop map or game mode? I don't use the workshop, I'm not going to lie. I really, really don't use it. But one thing I have used it for is aim training. If there's anything I recommend for you guys is to go and check out PMA Jellies. He's got a YouTube channel, he does a bunch of workshop stuff, and he does an aim trainer. And they are really, really good. And it's well worth checking out. It's well worth checking out. Better than anything you'll get in the training range or anything like that. Fantastic stuff. You can set all the settings yourself. You can select heroes and stuff like that. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. So that's something that definitely stands out for me for the workshop. And that's been a great addition, by the way. Yeah, Diego Mahoney says, who do you think is the most iconic player in the Overwatch League? The first person who comes to mind when someone says the Overwatch League. At the moment, I would say either Carpe or Fleta. Probably Carpe. It's going to be a DPS player because you are so used to the pop-offs, and that's kind of my downside of the MVP award slightly. But yeah, I would say Carpe at the moment. He is such a recognizable name in the Overwatch League, and now we don't have people like Sinatra or Jake. I think he's really stepped into that role as kind of the face of the league. Can I say that? Surely we should say the face of the league is Chipser though, so I don't know, but Carpe, yeah, I think we have to say Carpe. He's so recognizable and relatable to the Overwatch League. Moving on though, and Jupex Lab is asking, what team would I join if I was in the Overwatch League? Probably London, because it's a British team, even though it's an all-Korean roster. I know, that's very conflicting, isn't it? But yeah, it would probably be London. Moving on, and Cooper G was going to ask, do you think the league should ever step in and do something about orgs like Boston and Dallas? Yes, I think they should. I think there's an inherent problem with the way in which the league works, where that won't happen. The league, I don't want to say the league doesn't control the league, but if you take an example of the Premier League, soccer-wise or football-wise in the UK, decisions are made around the round table with representatives from each team and then the leaders of the league. And I think that's very much how the Overwatch League works. The orgs and the teams have a lot of say. And therefore, very often, the Overwatch League, because it's reliant on its income from these people, from these sponsors, from these teams, it very often won't question them too much. And that's why we don't get teams like Boston investigated for what's happened in previous times. Vancouver never got investigated for what happened with the collapse of the old Runaway roster. And what's happening at Dallas right now. So yeah, I don't think we'll ever see it. Do I think they should do it? I think there should be some questions asked for some things. I think perhaps vetting from Boston, because they've had 2 instances of some very dodgy players and they've had to sack them. Dallas, in terms of player management, seems to be very iffy, and Vancouver, who the bloody hell knows what went on there. But yeah, I think there's scope for things to be looked at, but do I think they'll be looked at? Absolutely not, because I think orgs have a lot of control in the Overwatch League, unfortunately. But that is it for the first Q&A. It's been a 25-minute Q&A. I do apologize. It's been a long one. There's a lot of questions. But I will continue to do these periodically. If you want to continue to submit questions, please leave them in the comments below of this YouTube video or on the Q&A submissions channel on the Discord. The invite link for the Discord is in the description below. Please do join up. It's a fantastic Discord. We can talk about Overwatch League. We can talk about, I don't know, Minecraft. There's a Minecraft server. Or Minecraft realm anyway. And we can have a lot of fun. Yeah, I definitely recommend joining up with the Discord. But I'm going to leave it here for this one. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then. See you then.